Okay, very good afternoon. Good morning. I don't see Ed on. I just want to, and of course, good evening to those that might be listening today. And also, we wish Fabiano a very happy birthday today. He just sent me a WhatsApp to say it's his birthday today. So, all good there, Fabiano. Just want to quickly get this. He is, of course, Charlie Tango 7 Alpha Bravo Delta. Charlie Tango 7 Alpha Bravo Delta. Happy birthday to you, Fabiano. It'll be good to see you on DATV one of these good days again. Anyway, today we wish to again thank the Qatar Satellite Company for allowing us the opportunity to be on their satellite. We also wish to thank AMSAT DL and AMSAT UK and of course the BATC for all their assistance, technology, information, etc. So excellent people to get involved with, and of course they have their links. You can just check them out, BATC or AMSAT DL or AMSAT UK. Today our list is rather short. Let me just see if I can pull it up. ZS1 Mike will follow, and then hello to you, Martin, in the UK, G8KOE, and hello to Peter in Wales, GW7BZY, and hello to Frank. Pleased you returned home safely and that you're back on the net there, Frank, ZS6 Golf Echo. So I don't see anyone else on the net at the moment. Let me just have a look, see. Let me just check if okay, nobody else on the BATC site. So there we go. Right, Leon, if you wouldn't mind taking it from ZA6 Yankee India.
Okay, let's just see. Okay. All right. Yeah, good afternoon. There's nobody in the morning zone, as Gary says. Maybe good evening somewhere. Yes, I have a very strange phenomena. I did not receive the list. I'm not receiving anything on my cell phone today. I don't know what's happening. What's wrong? I have full signal strength, which I normally don't have, but it's all bars today. I've checked, my account is current, but nobody's phoned me. I haven't received any commercial WhatsApps or anything of any kind. No SMSs, nothing. So I don't know what's going on. So yeah, I didn't receive. I tried to get the list, but there's no WhatsApp from Gary. So I don't know, something strange. Anyway, not to worry. Signal looks good. What have I been busy doing? Oh, all sorts of things. We have a problem at the airfield. Some of the runway lights, they get vandalized and stuff, and we're trying to trace the cables. But this lot was installed so many years ago that nobody knows the exact run of the cables and so on. So I'm busy experimenting with some of my homemade gear here, and it seems that the bat receiver, if I can excite the cable with a high frequency, say 20 kcs or 30 kcs, the bat receiver with an antenna receives it quite well. So maybe I can trace the cables like that. I'll see next weekend if I have a chance. But yeah, that's what I've been busy with at the moment. Otherwise, not much to say. It's very busy at the workplace. So yeah, I'm only here on Saturdays and a little bit of Sunday, because just after the net I drive back to my other QTH, 145 kilometers from here. Okay, Enough from me. Martin, over to you. G8KOE for the group from ZS1 Mike Mike.
Yeah, you were catching me out there. Still, I got sound for sure. I think I did have it earlier. Yeah, you were catching. I was all dozing away here. Ruby, that was sitting on the desk, has now gone back onto the settee, so I've got a little bit more room. But I've not been doing a great deal other than playing with the All-Star node, which is now up and running. And those that didn't see it, it's the one on the right. That's that one there. It's all up and running and can be connected to, it's sitting on for the wide world to, let's get the center screen. We go there. Actually, my local friend is connected to it at the moment, but anybody else can connect to it as well. So it's 47572. Connects directly to me, and then is receivable on my expensive handheld, which is that beastie, which is what I use as my main. Well, I use that more than I use anything else, and that is working well. I won't key it up, otherwise David will come back, possibly. I don't want that one. I want to go back to center screen. So yeah, so that's all up and running. I've even worked out how to program, which I was having problems with, the SA818. But there is a nice little program for programming it, which also includes which I'm not understanding it, but I've got the CTCSS set 77, and it's also got a reverse burst, which I've got, yes. Don't fully understand what the advantage of having that. The other thing I've been chasing is the squelch tail on various receivers. That is, most receivers seem to do it. In my sort of silly sort of thoughts, I was hoping that running CTCSS would you wouldn't end up with a squelch tail, but you still do. So that's what I've been playing with there. The other thing that I did get my son popped over and dropped me off another one of these little monitors. I say monitors. It's a one in Windows 10. Basically a computer. It's what's used on point of sale equipment. Oh, hello, whoever called me on 47572. That does work. And I've also got the RIDE receiver, which is connected into there. So let's go back and have a look at the my dashboard. Oh, ZR1WT has connected. Let's go screen center. There he is. Let's just give him a call. ZR1WT. Good to see you connected. Golf 8 Kilo Oscar Echo on the worldwide net. But just acknowledging that you've connected from G8KOE. nobody coming back, but that is connected, so it does work. So if I go onto the bubble chart, oh.
Hi Martin, the ZR1 Whiskey Tango in George, South Africa. Just thought I'd butt in and say hello, just to show the technology works to the rest of the South Africans watching.
Thank you very much. That's a good test. I've just seen that where I'm connected to now, which is good. Just brought up the bubble map, and it shows that it did. You're sounding really, really good. I must admit, really good audio. So thank you very much for proving that the system works. You're the first, other than my local station, that's actually called through. So very good. Thank you very much indeed. I'd better get back to talk to Gary, but you demoed it well from G8KE. Right, that confused me, but was good. Shows that it does work and works well, and that's really pleasing. Anyway, getting back to the other monitor, which I was showing, I've got this one which is connected up via the Raspberry Pi on the ride, so I've got that as a separate receive side. But what's nice with the monitor is I can use it for obviously many other things. So that's looking at my system, so I can control the PA, etc, etc, etc. One over there is actually looking at the node, which shows who's connected to it. And the reporter is looking to see who's connected using OpenTuner. And just to add one other thing to it, Simon's World Map. I put that on there as well. But this one, let's go back to camera input. I'll leave it on there. But the second one I've also got the world map on there at the moment, but I can do exactly the same on that one. That gives me multiple control of all sorts of things. But they are what you'd see on the point of sale stuff as you're leaving the supermarket, etc. Someone's got a display up or whatever, or a shop. But they run Windows 10 touchscreen, so works out very well. I still can't get over the. Let's go back to the screen. That ZR1 WT George there in Western Cape. That's good. Obviously, it's got the system out there set up very well indeed, because the audio is absolutely cracking, which is the advantage of All-Star. Doesn't sound like you've got a peg on the end of your nose. Yeah, I was going to wish Fabiano a happy birthday. I saw him on the chat earlier. Threatened to sing him happy birthday, but I don't think I'll wish that on anybody. Perhaps somebody else with a better voice will follow it through. So Simon's World Map, which I think is excellent. Let's see if TechMinds is a good way to start if you're going to use one of those modules that I've used, or just setting things up in general. It's worth watching his video. There are others out there as well. I've also got Brandmaster Talk Group 9100 is set up and working. Which let's go back to the monitor there. It's actually on DVM. That's monitoring on that, and there's a radio under there that's permanently connected to it. Oh, right. I think that's all I had in my list of things, but that's probably long enough for me to to get confused. Oh, and fine on the I didn't comment on the bat detector. That sounds like a brilliant idea. I wouldn't have thought, because BT, the phone people used to send signals down, and you had a similar sort of, I think, detecting sort of device, the way they found which cable was live, etc. So that should work a treat. Another use for the bat detector. I've still got mine. The bats seem to have gone to sleep at the moment. I was chatting to a friend of mine in one of the northern Scottish islands, as such, which no longer has any bats. It's got one cave, which it used to have one little entrance to it, which was a little sort of crack to get to it, and it got flooded, and all the bats died and are no longer there. They put it's the only wooded sort of area on this little island, but he's constantly gone up there to check whether any bats have come back, but they haven't. And he was sort of saying you can tell whether the bats are back by looking for the white deposit on the boxes, because just as they fly off, they empty themselves, which is a bit of useful information, I thought anyway. Right, I think it's round to Peter next. Now, for Peter, can you put your background in focus as well? Because you put all these lovely things on there, and I can't see them. Round to you there, Peter. From G8KOE. Round to you there, Peter. From G8KOE.
We'll put that off. There we go. Apologies for that. Let's have a look. Let's go with the defocus. Shall I instantly focus? That gets maybe a bit too sharp now. There might. Okay. Some of the stuff has changed in the background there. Playing with DMR this end. I was in. I don't fancy spending any money because I keep buying this stuff, and I had some, a USB dongle thing with an aerial on it that I plugged into the computer, and it worked really well. Stuff on to do with the digital modes. I mean, it's all right for the first few years, and then of course it just gets forgotten about. A lot like Windows. My ID, and got that sorted. And then I thought I looked for some software that works only from the PC, and of course I've got a computer. My monitor sound coming out. It doesn't work. I tried something Dude, all Dude or Dude Star, and something for the PC. That doesn't work. So now I'm pinning my hopes on Peanut. Going to send me a password at some point, hopefully, and I don't expect it'll work, but that'll be a chance it might work. I'm dropping in and out here, so I don't know whether that's a problem other people are having. I'll put the power up a little bit more. Well, I can't say I've been ill, but the wife's been quite ill again, and I expect COVID is a thing that's here. It's everywhere amongst everybody, pretty much. I exaggerate a little bit, of course. It's always never a bad thing. And hello to Gary there, also in South Africa. I was sat watching television and I just about missed the everything's working. Am I frozen? I was pretty frozen there for a moment. I don't know. My computer is doing some strange stuff. I'm looking at it and it's not happy. I probably have to, because the queue is looking horrendous, and there's a problem for whatever reason. Okay, so I hand it round. I don't know who's next. I didn't just the thing on the page. It seems to have disappeared off my phone, and that's about it from this end. Hopefully you've had a good look, Martin, at these things in the background. Some things are going from GW7BZY to the group, with apologies.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good afternoon. Okay, yeah, works. Yeah, what's new? Okay, sorry. Leon would just be interested what frequency you use. And Martin, yeah, all very high tech. Little bit beyond me. Otherwise, I'm back from holiday. I was in the Netherlands and I was 1 week in Scotland, and well, it was nice. It was the first time from Edinburgh to Fort Williams, and then with steam train to Malé, then on an island, and then to Inverness and back again. It was quite nice. What surprised me is when you look on TV, when they show you pictures of the highlands, it all looks very barren, and I was surprised to find out that actually down in the valleys there is lots of greenery, lots of trees and all that sort of thing. So that was new to me. Yeah, so, and arrived safely home again. And coming home, most things still worked, except my toaster. That decided not to work anymore. Normally when you push it down, it locks and keeps the toast down, but it refused to do that. It didn't want to stay down. And of course it's just about 6 months after the warranty, so I decided to open it up, and of course there is a microcontroller in there that controls everything, including an electromagnet that holds the toaster down, and that didn't activate anymore. Anyway, so let me show you. There's a PC board, and as you can see, this resistor doesn't look so good anymore. And by trial and error, I started with high value down to 2K2, and with 2K2 the electromagnet held it down, and I felt, yes, it warms up. But the problem was it's a 3-watt resistor, a bit difficult to find. Eventually I got one, I put it in, Yes, it worked for about half a minute and then it burned up again. So that's a sad story. And whereupon I sorry, I just try to get my picture back. And that was a mistake, but anyway, you should still see me. Yeah, always the same problem. I have to start. Excuse me. And there are too many windows open. Select. Right. Now I can see myself again, hopefully. Should start up. Anyway, then I checked the circuitry a bit more and I found out that there are 4 heating elements, 2 in parallel and in series, and one of them had burned up. That's what it looked like. And that means the electronics got double the voltage it should get, because the heating elements acted like a voltage divider. Oh yeah, and that cooked it again. So that was this story. What else? As you know, I'm also doing model railway, and I'm just trying to get it right. This away. Yeah, this is one of my engines. And the good news is that the original is still in daily service. And until a few days ago, one of them had a sad problem. I'll show you a clip. It's very short. Watch the background, and I'll play it twice. Yeah, so one truck decided he's going to beat the train and didn't succeed. So that's the end result. It pushed the engine straight off the track. And that's one of the calamities. So the crossing is secured by a signal here, but it hit that too, and that's a signal. That's a box with the electronics in it. Push that over, and the front end of the engine doesn't look so good anymore. So now it has to go back to the workshop, and they have to measure everything, that the frame is not bent and all that sort of thing. So sad story. Anyway, let me try to get back to normal here. Yeah. Right. And Sorry, I'm not a good switching around between the various places. But anyway, okay, that's all from me today. And I give the mic back to Gary.
Okay, just get the picture up. Okay. Yes, see, Frank, that was a very interesting video, and it's a pity about the truck. Now, why doesn't it shut up? It's a pity about the truck hammering that train, hey? That's locomotive. That's really bad news. And but it was interesting. Hello to you, Leon, and thanks for coming up. I did send you a WhatsApp. Indeed, I did. It was about 11 o'clock, I think. So, yeah, there's something wrong. You must switch off your phone and restart. And then, Peter, you kept breaking up. And what I did notice, though, is that, never mind anything else, you're 25 kilohertz down in frequency, which the AFC just about pulls it in. So I thought might have been that. So I quickly changed the frequency of my receiver to your frequency, which was 225 instead of 250. I'm only giving the last few digits, but it didn't help. So perhaps you need to switch off and reset and start up again. But it did have a lot of braking, and you had a good signal otherwise, strong signal, a little bit over the beacon. I know on a Sunday I run higher than the beacon because there are many people watching with very small dishes. Anyway, on YouTube at the moment, we do have Paul, OE8PCK. Hello, Paul. And he says, happy birthday to Fabiano. Then we have Ashley Booth. Greetings from GE8DPH/A. And then hello to Peter Rudolph. That is a DK3 Zulu Fox. And then also says happy birthday to Fabiano. And then Joe, 9 Hotel 1 Golf Tango. Joe was the guy that kindly sent us such beautiful photographs of his tubes. I've still got more, which I'll show when there's a few more guys on the net. And then Stuart came in, ZR1 Whiskey Tango. He's the chap you just had a chat to just now there, Martin, and that was a very interesting demonstration. I was very impressed, even though you did it with the mic, with Stuart's audio quality. It's definitely, in my opinion, much better than DMR. With all the, it sounds like a robot sometimes, like you're talking through a pipe. And I've got DMR and I've got D-Star. I don't use the things, I just can't handle that audio. But I must say, Stuart's audio came through remarkably well. So perhaps there's something to be said for this all-star mode. I'll have a look at that, see if I can't get it going, which, and maybe put a little hotspot here. I don't know how it works. I've got no idea. I'll have to go and read up. Maybe, Martin, you can WhatsApp me some links. I could go and edumacate myself, not educate. Yeah, we had a bit of a week. My wife went in for her second hip operation. The first hip was done 6 years ago, and the guy said, okay, we'll see you in 3 years. But no, she held out. And so I had to take her up on Wednesday. She had the operation on Thursday. And on Saturday, she was discharged. But this time, a lot of pain. Totally different to the other times. The other time was a breeze. She had the op on the Thursday, home on Saturday, and started to do washing. Crazy. No problem. Walked, no problem, not without a stick. But this time it was a bit more difficult. I think she kept it too long. She held out too long. And there was quite a bit of damage where the ball and socket go in, the actual socket. So the guy had quite a bit of work cut out. It took long. Normally, maybe 2 hours or so, but it took from 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock. 10 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock. So it was a long, long haul. Anyway, she's feeling a lot better today. She had a good shower and a nice breakfast and so on, and has been up although she's supposed to use 2 crutches, she threw the 1 crutch away. And now she's more mobile with the 1, but it won't be too long. And she'll be okay and back running. And then a Delta Golf. There's it. Leon just told me his WhatsApp's working. He reset everything. And hello to Regina, Delta Golf 5 Fox Mike. Hello to you. Always nice to have you on. And yeah, not a big net today, fortunately, because I don't want to sit here all hours of the evening. But I must say, temperatures getting better, getting slightly warmer. And of course, in about 15 or so days' time, well, a little bit more, on the 15th of September, my father used to always say, now summer starts, because we have lovely weather from that time onwards, you know, nice and warm. And I used to tease him. I said, I remember the 15th of September used to be still cold. We had a cold front or whatever. But I only twigged when he passed away that the 15th of September was his birthday. I knew it was, but I didn't twig. I thought, oh, no wonder. Summer starts on his birthday. Yeah, he was born on the very same day as Dave Larson, also 15th of September 1933. And they both did exceptionally well in the on the economic side. Dave on the electronics with Raycol. And in fact, Frank worked with Dave. Frank was on his research team. And then and my father on the medicine side. He was, firstly taught medical doctors at university, and then he did analytical chemistry, a PhD, and that was my son, nuclear. And he did analytical chemistry and what's the other one? It's to do with the body, you know, what the chemical does to the body. So that was his game, and then he started his own company manufacturing. So that's a bit of useless history. Anyway, I sent last week's link to my cousin Andre. He has a video company that does video adverts and all sorts of things. He's just buying a new camera now, very expensive thing, and so he wanted to sell his older one, and he said he'll give it to me at next to nothing. It's brand new. It had 10 hours of work on it, but it's not a 4K camera. It's a HDMI, you know, nice camera. Not it's got an HDMI output. It's a Sony. It's a very nice camera. It gives a good picture. He said I can play with it for a while and so on, but unfortunately it's not 4K, so I'm not that interested to go backwards. But yeah, I have seen video offered. It's quite good. So that's all. And yeah, he said I must get a teleprompter because I tend to look away from the camera. Now he's critiquing as though I'm at the SABC or BBC, you know, having to sit there. Now, I just want to remind you, folk, that next Saturday at 900 UTC, I think we're going to be on this frequency. Martin was going to, I suggested we go 500 kilo symbols or even 1 mega symbol. He was still going to test and see if his transmitter can handle it. But I think the quality is okay here where we are, because he's going to link up with the DATV, or it's actually the ATV repeater in Melbourne. And he would like some of the guys to come on. So far, I've got myself, Leon, and it does look like Tom will come on from South Africa, and whoever else. We just go a round table net like today, and the Aussies, we go in slots of 20 minutes. We do our thing on 20 minutes, and then they do their thing, and we get to see them, and they get to see us. It's going to be quite interesting, I think. So 900 hours, 0900 hours next Saturday, the 31st of August. So please bookmark that if you can come up onto DATV that early in the morning. Great stuff. Right, with that, I'm going to pass it to ZS1 Mexico. Great idea, great idea. Put a RF tone down the wire and see where it comes out. I'm sure you'll receive it. That's you know what we do with that bat receiver? You can hear air leaks and stuff on compressors and so on. And Leon, I haven't put it in the box yet You cannot believe how busy we are. And also got a problem with a big mold, and we got to start high volume production already. So now the tool's got to be sorted out. So, geez, we had to do a modification, and it went down to a company in Uitenhage to do. And I don't know what they've done. They welded on the mold. And anyway, they got to fix this, but we wasted a lot of money on transport and whatever. And it didn't work. We couldn't get the part out of the mold. And so something's wrong. Anyway, I think we know. So their technicians were there all weekend, and the mold's got to go back tomorrow. Now you can imagine the customers jumping up and down. Geez, like it's that stress. Okay, with that, back to you, Leon. ZS1 Mexico, Mexico. ZS6 Yankee, India.
Then. Oh no, I must kill my sound. That's it. Okay, fine, Gary. ZS6YI in the group, ZS1MM. Before I forget, I just got now that my WhatsApp is working again, I got the WhatsApp from Paul, PE1AVP. And he says, yeah, the robot lawnmowers run at about 150 kcs. So that's good. I'm using the submarine frequency, for which I've designed some other receivers of mine for doing the solar flare measurements. I think it's 19 point something kc. It's very low, and it does good ground penetration. So yeah, save. Okay, I've got Paul on my thing now. So anyway, I shall try that. I haven't got time now. I played with it just now before we came on. Right, let's just see. Okay, thanks for the tip. Anyway, I always forget about that, Gary, that you can switch the freaking thing off and then it'll reset itself. And of course, at some stage it updated itself, and now you switch it on and it doesn't just say this and that and then boom. No. It comes with gears turning, and it's up installing something or whatever. It does that whenever you switch it off and on now. Anyway, I hate this digital stuff. Right, Martin, your Starlink thing. Yes, I was amazed at that audio quality. It doesn't sound like the G-Star, because that's Donald Duck and horrible. We've got that at work, and I refuse to talk on it. You cannot even recognize a guy's voice on it. But what you showed us now is something totally different. I don't know how it works, but yeah, you play with it, and whatever comes out of there sounds good. Peter, yeah, you were freezing constantly, and your audio and your picture. Your audio was getting interrupted in your picture. And Frank, yeah, the toaster thing. It's those cheap ways of doing things, eh? They just a tiny little mains transformer. It's all you need just to drive the electronics out. No. They tap the elements. They do the same with hair dryers with a small little DC motor. The old hair dryers had 220-volt brush motors, but not anymore. It's a normal like 6-volt, 12-volt motor, little DC motor, and they tap off the heating element. Anyway, Frank, yeah, that was a good video. It's a pity that the guy had to run the truck into the train. Never mind the damage to the truck. The train, that's a precious thing, man. The engine. But especially for you, what I forgot to mention this on my first over. I've had this thing for years. And the bottom thing there, the bottom green box, is the battery, which I didn't have. And I got that battery box with the old dead NiCads in 18D size NiCads in it. And I replaced it with some lithium ion, these normal size, what your 1858 or whatever those cells. I fitted 12 of them in series parallel. So I now have about 1 volt more than the original battery pack. And I have 5 amp hours, whereas the original NiCad pack was 4 amp hours. And at a fraction of the weight. I'm only using a little space of the thing. But yeah, it's a bit dusty on the front. It's been standing for years. It works perfectly. But special for you, Frank. You probably know this animal. Raycol TR48S. I love this radio. It's very manual, but very reliable. And yeah, of course the audio sockets have been replaced with decent civilized ones, not these horrible military things. But yes, so this is now working fine. If I switch it on, the meter says, yeah, the voltage is good. So I also did that. Yeah, that's about it from me. Gary, I'm glad to hear that your wife is out of the hospital. Sorry about the pain and stuff, but she was just hanging there, a few hands of pills and stuff, and maybe it'll go away. But yeah, if she can move around, it's a good sign. Oh, and by the way, Frank, I'm using this little Philips speaker microphone on the TR48. It makes it compact, and I like the antenna tuner, and that thing is not this bzz, bzz, automatic thing. It's manual. You can tune it. It's got this little meter with the 2 LEDs, go clockwise or go anti-clockwise, and it loads up into anything from a long wire dipole or a 4-foot piece of wire. Okay, that's it from me. I have to start packing. I want to try and be on the road by not much later than 4 o'clock. Back to the workplace. So that's it. Peter, let's see if you've got... No, it's Martin first. G8KOE for the group with ZS1 Mike saying 73s, but I'll be listening and watching as I move around.
Yeah, okay there, Leon. Tech Minds do a the simplest All-Star node video. I'll put a link on the chat, but I don't think you've got the chat. But to Gary, if you have a look at the link, it runs through because you have to register to get a number. It's all free, but effectively you register with a call sign and get a number, and that's your etc. And just set it up on a Raspberry Pi. I purchased the interface that just plugs into the 2 USB sockets on a Pi 3 is what I'm using. And if you followed the setup that TechMinds does, it would get you up and running. There are a few other things that I've found by playing that make life a little bit easier. One of which there is a setup program that is actually in the software that you download, which makes it a little bit easier to set up, etc. But yeah, the reverse burst is the only thing I don't fully understand at the moment, the CDCSS. And whilst we're talking about Scotland and such like, I whipped on to let's get the let's go to the centre screen. GM7VC, which is on the Outer Hebrides, and he runs a webcam that is being constantly updated, and you can actually look at grabs that it's done, so you can see what the skyline is there. He's been up there for a number of years now, and he's, as I said, quite an expert on bats. His knowledge of exactly what they do, etc., is very good, and the different noises they make, and the fact that they've just eaten an insect, etc. He's got lots of made lots of recordings. And I see Roger G3IUZ has joined the end of the list. I don't know whether he was there in time to see Frank's video of the train, but I know Roger would have been exceedingly interested in that side of things, and he might even shave his model train, or his bigger trains as well. But good to see you there, Roger. I was hoping you were going to make it last week, but obviously lunch was too good. You were sitting enjoying afternoon tea, I expect, as well. But anyway, and the All-Star side of things, the quality in comparison to DMR, it sounds like you've got a peg on the engine in your nose, and D-Star, which is sort of RTD2 a lot of the time. I started off with D-Star, but the advantage of All-Star is that you start off by using any old FM radio. I'm using this one, which cost me 12 quid, I think, the Quansheng. But standard FM radio, set up your little local node, and I think they still were connected to me. Yep, but I was quite a big net you've got down. Let's go to the centre screen again. With all these stations that are all linked through, and that's my little node there that's been connected. But the other big advantage is peer-to-peer, so you can either have a massive group like that, or you can decide the two of you, or three of you, or four of you will go off and have a private little conversation somewhere, so you can disconnect and everyone can connect to you, or whatever. The peer-to-peer works out exceedingly good. But starting point, which TechMine's videos are always very good. No, they are very good. It's helped me a lot in the past. So, and trying to sort of promote his site a little bit, but it's all very good. I did ask a question and answered a question on the the node side of things. As I found out, the more you play, the more you find. But there's a lot of settings that you can play with, and a lot of them you don't need to over worry with. Right, and Peter, yours was locking up terribly on two receivers here, and I see you having problems with the sound there. On using the mic, using the Winter Hill on the I'm using Open Tuner on the network, and the sound was perfect, absolutely perfect. So not sure which PK Tuner side of things that you're using, software, but the Open Tuner one certainly works well, which is why is my main one that I use, which then obviously got the reporter side set up, so it appears there. Anyway, that's a long waffle for me, and I see that Roger was on the chat, said, "Can he join?" Yes, you can at the end, and it'd be interesting in your train bits and pieces plus everything else. Right, that's a long waffle from me. If I can be of help to anybody, know where to contact me, and share Gary. But have a little look at that video, and then if it doesn't make sense, or we can move on from there. But or you could buy a completely built node. I think it's in there. G7 RPG will build one up in a little black box, but that one is not bad. Just getting the interface. I got it off AliExpress. Just followed the link that Tech Mine's put there, and from there. Right. I shall sign and pass it around to Peter, who's now sorted everything out and is going to give a perfect transmission, and the shelf behind him is also going to be in focus, as I can see all the nice bits of kit he's got there. So over to you there, Peter, from G8KOE. Over to you there.
Okay, maybe the lip sync isn't lip synced quite as well as it might have been, because I've just turned just turned the sound down, and I've gone back to hardware encoder, which is not quite as nice in the encoding stakes, but it's a bit more reliable. I think the computer was doing something, and it was, I could see by the cue that it was zigzagging something horrendously, and it became apparent that things weren't going well, and apologies for that. So yes, birthday. I've threatened this more than once, and this is a really simple tune, I know, but will I be able to play it without fluffing it? I don't know. This is I don't know if you can see, it's getting dark. Can we see that? Yeah, that's a Selma. Let's have a look. I can see the score. No, I couldn't get it perfect, but near enough. I don't know whose birthday it is, but that's my event of happy birthday. I had to turn all the noise reduction off on the microphone to get that through, otherwise it would blank it. But there we are. Happy birthday to whoever's birthday it is. Apologies if it's not such a happy event. Anyway, what was I going to say? Glasses on again. Maybe if I had my glasses and I could see the score a little bit better. 4K. I don't know. I wouldn't think it was really. I don't know what camera that you were being offered there. If it was a proper studio camera with 3 chips, you know, a 1080 one, a full HD one, will still be superior to color-wise and image-wise, and in every respect to any sort of single sensor 4K. Really, in reality, and it'll format the picture correctly in the, you know, the black and the white and everything else, and you've got great control as well. So I wouldn't think it's a turn backwards. If it's a single chip camera, it's much of a muchness, isn't it? What was going to say? Yeah, if you're looking for something really good, Gary, and you've got a few pennies in the bank, and I mean a few pennies, you want to look out for the PXW Z750. That'll give you 4K and a global shutter. It's the same as the one I look at as the one I have here. It looks like every other 3-sensor Sony, but it's a bit special, and you need a lens with that as well, of course. Radio, Leon, Raycall. I think it's a local company to us. Yeah, I think it's in Bangor, just down the road from me. I think it's Raycall. I have a Klansman, which is an interesting radio, and it works well. Although I've only used it once, and I did speak to somebody in Portugal with it, so that's a bit of DXing, and I had it on my sidecar outfit. I used to have a Russian Ural sidecar outfit, which I used to go about on, and it was great to work mobile from that, but well, while I was stationary, not very good when you're mobile. Great bit of kit. So I don't know. That's what I think. Raycall is local to us. The factory's still there, I believe. I don't know what they're making now. A DMR. I use DMR at work when I'm working, and I've got a nice Motorola, and your ears become attuned to it. I don't always have it on me, and if I don't wear it for a few weeks or a month or something, then I can't hear what people are saying. But if I do put it on and wear it for 6 months, then it just becomes natural, and you know, it's just easy. So I think if you're going to use the vocoders, and I can't remember the name of the vocoder now. then you become attuned to it. It's like a foreign language. So yeah, All-Star. I shall have a go, Martin. I don't fancy spending money on any kit that plugs into my Pi. I've got a Pi 4. I expect it would work. I think I'd want a autonomous box that just plugs in and goes. I think it'd be more reliable somehow. But then again, the autonomous box, depending on cash, doesn't it, really? I don't really feel like spending great deal of money on it. I have a 77 radio somewhere, which is a standard 2.5 something. I thought when I purchased it, it was a 258, which was my first radio, which was a triple bander back in the mid-80s, which actually spoke to one of the American spaceships. What was it? Maybe St. Columba or the other one. I think it might be St. Columba, which is my longest QSO. Is it 30,000 miles or something? Both ways, I'm not sure, each way. But and of course it worked as a scan, and it works. You could scan to it up to about 850 megs, which means you could at that time listen to the FM mobile car phone frequencies, which is always entertaining. So there we are. I think that's about it on all that. But yeah, I mean, putting a signal down there and tracing, I think that's a pretty standard way to follow some kind of signal to follow unknown power lines, and any kind of power line, really. I'm sure you've got that sorted, Leon. Certainly find that. I have migrated to OpenTuner, Martin. I was a mini tuner fan for quite a long time, and then because I couldn't get scan working, but then Minitune wouldn't work, and I think I found the problem. The computers weren't talking to each other. Usually I had to scan on one PC, and then the tuners plugged into another PC, and that stopped working for me. So I think at that time is when I tried OpenTuner, and the scan in the UDP wasn't working properly. So I've sorted that out, and I put the scan program, the quick scan, on the same PC as the receiver, and all works well. So that's ideal. I wish I could get more of a full screen rather than and I know you can get rid of the text, but it's pity I can't sort of get it more full screen. But anyway, I know I can do a separate window and all that. I appreciate that. But anyway, that's it. Hopefully that transmission is without faults. Apologise for any lip sync because I turned off the noise reduction, the one that NVIDIA noise reduction that would have cut off the music, and I hope the music, apart from the last little bit of an error, was okay. With that, I'll hand it round. I'll go for a test card and a fade to black.
Yeah. Yeah, Peter's sound was okay. I started with a picture. It tended to go negative here. I don't know what the reason is. But anyway. Okay, Gary, I hope your wife is recovering fully and soon. It's always a risk. It might be routine these days, but the risk is always there. And Leon, yeah, I started with a company while they were still making TR-28s. And then came the TR-15, and then the TR-48. That 48 was the first one they made with a plastic case. Previously it was aluminium. And the synthesizer went up all to 30 megahertz, which was of course nice for me to play around. For amateur use, these channelized radios are not very user friendly, let's call it this way, because it's not easy to tune, but still it was fun. Okay, then I wish everybody all the best for the rest of the day. and I pass it on to Roger from ZS6 Golf Echo.
Well, good evening, or sorry, good afternoon, everybody. Make sure I got the, so just checking sound. Right, sounds okay. Right, so let me just, sorry about all that. Just, I've just only just switched everything on, and say a very good afternoon to everybody. Sorry I've not been on for quite a while, and I'm sorry about the messing you about last week. I inadvertently must have clicked on the list, really intending just to check who was on, and logged myself in. I discovered, but I didn't realize I'd done that until I came to watch the YouTube, which I usually do later on a Sunday, either late afternoon or in the evening. I suddenly discovered you were expecting to hear from me. I was slight consternation, very embarrassing. So sorry about that. I hope you're getting this all okay. I don't know whether perhaps Martin or Gary, if you could just stick it up on the chat, just to say if you're getting this okay. I did have some mic problems. Oh yeah, thanks, Martin. Oh, and thank you to SB4LIN. You're all saying. Okay, thank you very much, everybody, and Adam, Martin, Chris. All that right? Okay. Right. Well, first of all, Gary, yeah, join with the others in wishing your wife well and a swift and full recovery. Never nice. So anyway, hope all goes well and with expectations, good ones. All well here. I think, generally speaking, all things considered. It's very nice to meet Frank for the first time. Thank you for handing on to me, Frank. Yeah, we obviously have railways large and small in common. I will see your bit of video. I shall go back and look at the YouTube for today. So I shall catch up with whatever it was you were showing. I did very briefly as I was skimming through it to find where you'd got to, all of you. I did briefly see you holding up a model loco. It looked about the same scale as the one I built recently just for fun. My main interest is mainline. I've been long involved with Tornado, the new build A1 Pacific. We were involved in that right from its inception all the way through. Very much involved, sponsored quite a few of the components on that, and have traveled many hundreds, well, thousands of miles on it as support crew all over the country, up to Scotland, and to most parts of the country it's visited, down to the west, into Wales, down to London, all over the Midlands, on the East Coast Main Line, and so on. Now involved with supporting P2, the new build they're working on at the moment. Also with miniature railways, particularly 5-inch and 7.25. Very much involved in building passenger hauling 7.25 railway over the years. Though I've retired from that now, so concentrating really on the radio. But just for you, Frank, because the others have seen it, this is a little 7mm scale. Let's stick the other camera on a moment. That might be helpful, mightn't it? You actually see what I'm looking at. Yeah, there we go. There's a little 7¼ scale model of 1400 GWR 1400. Built that over the winter. It's mixture of brass and plastic and white metal and whatever, and runs, got an electric motor in it, of course. That's real coal, real Welsh steam coal in the bunker there. Not that it's actually going to burn any. Little tiny 3D printed lamps. Get some idea of scale there. Take the lid off. You get a. There we are. You can see the. Hopefully, see something of the fireman and driver and the controls down in there. That was a game and a half putting that all together. 30 to 38 components on that back head, Frank. Glutton for punishment, really. There we are. I think you'll probably get a better view of it there. Get a bit more light on it. Hang on, let's put a torch on it. Dear, oh dear. Let's put some light on it. There we go. Can you see? Yeah, you can see. There we go. Two-handed trying to put the light on it as well. There we go. That's enough of that. So that was rather fun. Building a push me pull you truck for it at the moment. Well, it's got abandoned because I've been involved in lots of other things. There we are. That's Portsdown behind. Just to show the station. Portsdown, Ryde, Mini Tuner. That's Hamclock running on a Raspberry Pi. Winter Hill not running at the moment. Weather station. Oh, that's my Whisper that's running at the moment. 500 milliwatts. 500 milliwatts too. I'm just energizing the stainless steel halyards up to the chimney. I'm up in the loft here, and working into the whole of the United States, South America, and Australia, Tasmania at the moment. It does 6 bands, just switches through 6 bands every 20 minutes. So it's GPS controlled. It's the QRSS kit. Now that's that, right? And that's the main power supply. What happens is we're running from the inevitable software, of course, using OBS and then DATV Easy, and then that drives down through a little amplifier at 470 megs, and then that goes down along coax through a transverter, and the PA is down by the dish, which is a 1.2 meter dish. So there we are. That's the setup here. That's more than enough from me now. Right. So there we are. So I think that's okay. On the Martin, I'm messing about with All Star as well. Only I'm doing a DIY, Martin. So if I just take a, there's the Bofung in pieces, which I'm about to modify with an old Raspberry Pi. So I'm doing it for virtually nothing. That's been kicking around for years, doing absolutely nothing. So I might see you on All Star. We'll have to see. Another thing to try. Anyway, it's back to Gary, isn't it? And I think that's more than enough from me. So very nice to join you all. Apologies that I don't come on at the beginning. Say Sunday lunch takes precedence here, but I was able to get away a little bit earlier today. So I thought I would try and make up for last week's debacle, and shall hope to join you again sometime. But in my meantime, good wishes to you in the net and all those who seem to join in. I'll leave you with a picture of the main feature. I'm down in Somerset in the West Country, for those of you who don't know, in the county of Somerset and the city of Wells, and this is our pride and joy, the 13th century cathedral. So there we are. So that's the centre of our little city. And with that, Gary, I pass it to you. ZS6YI. You have G3IUZ and the worldwide net on the QO-100.
Okay, Roger. Let's check the audio. Okay, Roger. Now that was a fascinating over. That was an excellent over, and I must compliment you on being a man with many talents. I've also looked at the workmanship of the electronic projects you have at the back. They're really, really professional. You and Frank will have a lot to talk about, a lot in common. That is for sure. Yeah, Frank, he builds these things like you did, but magnificent jobs. And as you say, as a glutton, not a sucker, a glutton for punishment. But fantastic. My late father was very interested in models and stuff. He used to get Model Engineer, the little magazine from the UK. And he used to love looking at the correspondence, the letters page, how old geezers in a small workshop would contradict the other guy, or they'd have good arguments, sorry, bumping the mic, they had good arguments about certain aspects of engineering and mechanical engineering. And let me tell you, if you want to know about engineering, from cutting a gear to making a rivet, go to the railways. They will teach you all about it. That's for sure. But no, well done. And nice signal from you. Good audio. Excellent. So all good at your end, Roger. We'd love to see you more often. I wanted to change the time during your daylight saving time to make it an hour later. We did that. And then when the winter came, our winter, your summer, your clocks went forward, and then we took a vote, and it was voted that we stay on the same time slot UTC-wise. But that threw many guys out because it clashed with their lunch hour. If one had to go back an hour later, and when your clocks turn back, then I just go back an hour earlier, so that you guys have it at a given time. I think it'll be 2 o'clock your time instead of 1 o'clock. I wonder if that will help get more guys on the band, on the net, because we miss the fellows from the UK, and most of them say, look, we're having lunch. So I think we're going to change that going forward. We did that to help the chaps in India, because they said it was getting too late in the evening for them. But not one single guy came up. Well, one did, and but that's BP. He came up once or twice, and not again, because I don't know. So maybe we just change the time slot next season. I'm not going to do it now. Next season, obviously it'll stay at 1300 UTC now, right through until next year, June, or whenever your clocks change, back or forward. And then we'll also just run the clock forward, this end to 1400 UTC. And I'm sure you guys will have had lunch and so forth and be available. Just a thought, Martin. Good, you could think about that as well. Thanks for the dope. Incidentally, it was called the NX, I think, the NX100. It's a 1-inch chip, but it's not 4K. I've had a quick look at the PXW 750, but they don't give prices. But there is a PXW 100. But it's not 3-chip, I don't think. But I really didn't study it. But the PXW 750 looks good, but there's a bigger one. But you're looking at about, what's it, 400,000-500,000 rand or something, which becomes relatively expensive. For what though? What's the gain going to be for DATV? If you in a studio making videos, that's a different story. But I saw one there, a Sony, hellishly expensive by comparison to everything else. And would the difference be noticeable? I wonder. Not on our little bandwidths that we're playing with. I think we're doing okay as we are. I'm running the Canon EOS R7, and it's a relatively new camera. I bought it brand new about a year or so ago. Maybe, yeah, not a year, just over a year ago. And now there's more of them on the market, and guys are really raving about the little camera. It's not a terribly expensive one. Now Canon's brought out the R1, the later R1, the latest one, and that's 140,000 rand. So you divide that by 22 to get pounds. So it's also quite pricey. And then they've got the R5, I think. R5, also a 1-inch chip. Call it the full chip, but it's always one chip. And I tend to agree with my friend in Wales that 3 chips might just be better. I spoke to my cousin he runs 3 chips on most of his stuff, and his opinion is it is better, especially the latest 3-chip stuff. But then you're not getting 3 1-inch chips, by the way. You're getting 3 smaller chips that I think it's 1/3. Eventually it makes about 1 inch. So I don't know if there's such a big advantage. It's a big debate. Anyway, that's how it is. I'm going to close the net at this over, but leave it in the air for whoever wants to continue. I think Leon has gone. He has signed. So Martin, I think I'll pass it to you, but I'm going to sign out on this over and wish everyone a very happy week. G4. Now, who should I send it to? That's just a quick question. Now, let me just check the list in case somebody else has come up. No, nobody else has. So G8KOE. And maybe you pass it to Peter from ZS6YI saying 73. See you guys next week.
Yeah, okay there, Gary. Let's make sure I've got some sound. Yeah, okay there, Gary. Right, we've got some sound. I didn't mention your wife. I hope she's feeling better soon. Get your fingers crossed there. And I did look on the web quickly, and when do the clocks change? The 27th of October, the clocks go back. I get terribly confused when the clocks alter what it does to the times everywhere. But when it was 2 o'clock in the UK, it was easier for me. But we've moved to have an earlier lunch. But for me, that would be easier. Yeah. And to you there, Roger. If I'm on building a node, my first node was built that way. I don't think I can find the pictures now. But it's on the 888 and the sound fob. I've reduced the power on the one that I use by taking the PA transistor out and bypassing it. Either with a capacitor, or if you're going to bypass it with a link, you've got to remove the little coil that's feeding the volts down to it. Otherwise things get upset. But you can just put a little capacitor in there if you wanted to reduce it. But yeah, I've modified many of them. Sound fobs are fun. Do look at the G7 RPG video if you haven't looked at it. That shows the construction. I think I showed it last week. But go on YouTube, put G7 RPG, and you'll see him construct his micronodes. Which, if anybody wanted one already constructed, then contact G7 RPG. Just look at him on QO-100.com and email him from that email link there, and he should get a reply. But his nodes are notorious. He's made hundreds of them, and if you look at the video, you can see it go. I don't think I've got much else to add, but thanks to everybody. Happy birthday to Fabiana again, and that playing Happy Birthday was good there, Peter. And yeah, your signal was much better last time, so it's all good there. So 7-3s everybody, good night, and look forward to others on All Star. And if they're sufficient, one could set up a hub somewhere. That would be the best answer. But at the moment, if I'm on, mine would be up and running. Or if there was sufficient demand, I could probably keep it running all the time by moving it to where I plug it in. So 7-3's all around you there, Peter, from G8KOE. So 7-3's all around you there.
Okay, well, I was sending negatives to one of the stations there. I do see that sometimes. I'll have a little play. Yeah, thanks, Martin, for mentioning the saxophoning. I don't play the saxophone very often. That's why it's a bit shaky, a bit wobbly. I should do really. I used to play in an orchestra and then a jazz band, do weddings and events and stuff. And it was all good fun, but it's a few years ago now, and of course most of the people were fairly old at the time, and what with the COVID thing. I think the camera's on the squiff. A lot of them have died, and the orchestra's broke up, and generally speaking, it's all gone to pot. So I say, unless I've got a gig to do, then I won't just practice for the sake of it. Although I should do, it's pleasurable. I think after you've been practicing for 10 or 15 years, you've had enough. I think this is it. I'll practice if I've got a gig. If I've not, then I won't. I was just looking online. You can get a HDC F550, which is a single sensor camera. Sony. I wouldn't have it because it's single sensor, but it's a second-hand one on CVP for £38,914 there, Gary. Talking serious money. I think the old stuff is good. You can get a PMW 350. I saw one round about the 800 mark on eBay, because you can get a lens with it, and it did come with a viewfinder, and I think that was about it. Whereas I got this one quite a good price with the wet lens, the viewfinder, and a load of batteries and a charger and a bag even. So it's ready to go. And the lenses can be expensive. Although the lens in this one is probably a standard resolution lens, and it is ancient old. The controls are quite worn, and if you zoom in, it gets a bit of fringing. So, but I've got another lens, and that one there. That one's another broadcast news camera. That one's runs, and it works. So, although it's not brilliant, it's a taped version, the DV cam tape, and that's a 2/3 sensor. a 2/3 sensor, not 1/3. 2/3. You can get 3-chip cameras that are a 1/3 sensors, but they wouldn't count as broadcast. This is a CBOS sensor, which wouldn't at the time count as proper broadcast. That one's the CCD, and up to fairly recently, and I mean the last 10 years probably, anything without a CCD was not classed as broadcast. But probably a little bit too much spend for a Z750. It wasn't very serious. It's about 40-something thousand pounds for the camera, and then you'd want a suitable lens, and I'm sure they're somewhere between 25 and I don't know, £35,000 for the lens, and then you want a viewfinder naturally. I wouldn't know how much that costs. Probably about 10,000. Nah, probably not 6,000 or something. Then you want a microphone, the radio pack, and that would be a couple of grand. Maybe a battery, and they'd be about £500 each, and a charger, of course. That would be a few thousand. So it soon mounts up to a vast amount of money, and you might want a microphone, and you have to pay through the nose. Have to pay through the nose for everything. So second-hand gear is the way to go, anyhow. And if it's fallen out of fashion or just been superseded by a long way, from 10 years say, then there's quite a lot of good second-hand gear that does very well for us and produces a very good picture. And dynamic range is not such an issue inside, which most of us use, because we've got control over lighting. So even those old cameras on the top there, the JVC 3.5-inch tube board, the one that looks quite nice, next to the old silvery one. That one, although has a limited dynamic range compared to the one I'm using now, and its standard resolution, still does a fine picture. And even the one in red with the 3 tubes. Without sensors, but with tubes, Vidicon tubes, or Plumbicon probably, the JVC. That produces a very nice coloured picture. It's very blurry and noisy, but the colour is still there because it's got the 3 sensors. And this is where single sensor cameras fail really. You can't really get a good colour picture. You've got red lips or pink lips and red faces. They just don't do the job in the same way as a 3-chip camera. Although if you've got vast amount to spend, you can probably get one that looks really well. But there we are. That's what I've got from this time. Sorry to hear about your missus there, and hopefully a hip comes right sooner than later. And I noticed to have a sick wife because mine's been in hospital in January. He was on her uppers, as we say in England, or my part of England anyway. Not very looking on like she was on the way out, I think it's a translation. But she survived that, and now she's got a bit of COVID, I think. As have I, but it's not affecting me in any particular way. In her, she lost her voice for about 3 or 4 days, which was terrible, as you can imagine. But otherwise, she's recovered now, and she's making use of her voice again. So that's it from here. I'll say good afternoon to everybody. I don't know, your time is quite right there, Gary. I don't know what we're changing our clock forward or backwards, to be honest with you. Rolls forward, so I think it goes back. We get an hour less in the morning now, or an hour more. I don't know. Somebody will tell me. Because I think if we both change the same direction, it'll be 2 o'clock still for lunch, which can be a bit difficult. It'd be better if it was 3 o'clock here, or 11 o'clock. Just right around lunchtime. Because I usually have our lunch here. If I eat in about 12, but if I go and eat out, then I'm probably not back till 3 o'clock or gone. If I go down to Benmore, which is Barmouth. A nice seaside town, not so many miles from here. With that, I'm going to say good afternoon to everybody. This is Golf Whiskey 7, and thanks for having me on. I'll hand it to... I don't remember. Let's go for a test card. And thanks for the compliment there, Gary, on the, Martin, on the music. I'm going to go for a quick cut, yeah. No, fade.
I was hoping Frank would come back, but I think he switched off. I don't know if Roger wants to have another over, but I'm gone. This is ZS6YI QRT. Thanks very much, chaps. See you next week.
Well, I'll take it as Frank hasn't appeared, Gary. Thank you very much. Just to say thank you very much, everybody, for comments and in the chat as well. And I see good afternoon to you, Nigel, 2E0EHH. See you're watching, and Mike. You must spend an awful lot of your time in the shack, Mike, as much as me sometimes. G0 MJW. Right. Well, anyway, if Frank is watching, that's just a picture of the 7 1/4 loco fleet of the railway that I was chairman, president of, and helped build at the sort of 20 years ago. And we go to the other picture. Just a second, I get my cursor in the right place. That one on the end there, Sarah. That was my loco, 7 1/4 Tinkerbell, sit in and drive, named after my wife, which always named boats and locomotives after my wife. That's but she's very supportive, so it's not blackmail really. Anyway, there we are. That's that. Back to the main display. So yep, all fine. Regarding times, Gary, certainly I would appreciate it. I found that when you were an hour ahead of us, whereas if you go back to 2 o'clock UTC start time, that would be helpful. And yeah, the clocks go back, Peter. We are 1 hour ahead of UTC at the moment, British Summer Time. At the end of October, we go back to GMT UTC, and yeah, 2 o'clock start or later would suit, as 1 o'clock is the sacred lunch hour as far as this household has been concerned for the last 50 years, and I have no intention of trying to change it. Anyway, there we are. Thanks for the hints there, Martin, on All-Star. Yeah, I have been looking at the various stuff that's available on the net, and having to have that old Bofang knocking around, I thought, well, have a crack at it, see how we get on. Might be just a bit of fun. Certainly, the digital stuff I find extremely trying, particularly with the hearing, not as good as it once was. Right. Mike reckons it's a bit earlier for after lunch. Yeah, well, 3 o'clock would be even better, Mike. I would agree with you. I've just seen your note come up. But it's effectively 2 o'clock at the moment, isn't it? So yeah, 3 o'clock UTC would be fine. But let's see what suits Gary and all the rest of them. So right, perhaps too late for others. Yeah, well, how about a good compromise at 2:30? Anyway, that's to be decided. Anyway, thank you all very much. I wish you all a very good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on the time wherever you happen to be watching. And we look forward to joining the net again, I hope, before too long. So we'll leave the frequency for whoever would like to take it. This is G3RUZ with the worldwide QO-100 net signing. And we'll just go back to a nice locomotive picture, and then the test card.
Yeah, okay there, Roger. I'm glad you understand which way the times go. I was just popping up to I didn't manage to find my pictures. I always get confused being dyslexic. I just go to center screen. That's my all-star node. My first one that I built, well, first or second one I built a number of them. But that's the modified radio, the sound fob, which you can modify in various ways. Just 2 wires to solder on, which aren't too difficult. But being, as I said, dyslexic, it's really annoying when you solder them on the wrong end of the chip. But anyway, and what seems to be found that does help is an earthing link from the actual USB socket to a very sturdy link across to the actual radio. But this one I'm feeding just a regulator there, I think. But you can feed it, but also the supply to the Raspberry Pi, if you're using a buck converter, stick a choke in and a capacitor, and feed it on the PIO pins, as I've done there. That seems to work out the best. That's roughly the layout that Peter used. I tried to use different ones, but always ended up going back to the same. I tried not to copy him, but anyway, that's it. It's in operation at the moment. I've got 2 nodes on the go. The one I bought the other interface just for the fun of it, but yeah, obviously the line on the left there is the COS line that comes through. But the sound fob is the important one. Right, I'll go back and didn't really intend to come up. I didn't think I was going to find the pictures, but yeah, I can always help a little bit if you need it there, Roger. If you follow the various instructions that are out there, you shouldn't have too many problems. It's all good fun. The worst thing is you can get some buck converter type noise on the supply lines coming from particularly the Raspberry Pi. And the annoying thing is they can be intermittently come and go. Right, 7.3's all. Good net, enjoyed it totally. I'm not coming back. I'm going now. 7.3's all. Good net, enjoyed it totally. I'm not coming back.
Hi guys, I just thought I'll say hello. Just finished grouting the kitchen floor. So yes, I just sat down to have a cup of tea, and I just managed to catch the end of the conversations. So I just thought I'd come on and just say good afternoon to you all. I don't really have much else to say because I've been spending my life in the kitchen for the last 6 weeks. But yeah, it's not looking too bad. Anyhow, I'm going to hand it back to whoever. I'm going to put up test card and then kill carrier. And
Gee whiz, Phil. It's going to rain. Gee whiz, Phil. No, wonderful to see you again, and pleased to hear you've been very productive sorting the kitchen out. Yeah, that's solid hard work. But yeah, I've just been reading on the net different comments about the time. You know, it might be a good idea if we move it up by 2 hours. Instead of 1300, we make it 1500 UTC. And then when the winter your summer comes, we drop it down. So that it's basically, what would it be? About about 3 o'clock your time. The problem that I have is 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday is a little bit restrictive for me, because I'd like to take Leslie to the go-karts or something, my grandson. And then on a Sunday, I tend not to do that in case we get held up and I can't be home in time for the net. So if the net could start in South Africa time, 5 o'clock, which sometimes is 2 hours ahead of you guys, and sometimes when it's your winter, we're only an hour ahead of you guys. So 5 o'clock could work nicely. We don't change our time zone. That's what makes it complicated. So something to think about. We can discuss that, and we can do a point of change with, say, give a 2-week notice, so that, and on the different nets and WhatsApp groups and so on, and then do it. Why not? We're here to try and get uniformity. It's very difficult being halfway around the globe, actually. If you take India and Brazil into account, then it gets difficult. I did sign. Thank you, Roger. Wonderful. Over again. And of course, thanks for the info on the All-Star. I've written down your nodes, by the way. So if I can get this going soon, then we can use that as an engineering channel instead of WhatsApp. 73ZS6YI, like the 80-meter band net, has now signed for the third and final time.